Hello everyone, this is part 3 of our How to Make Wine for Beginners videos. If you're watching this, you are either following along or you're at the point in your winemaking that you're ready to bottle. So we're going to go through that today, and hopefully you can learn some things, and hopefully by the end of this video you can have some wine of your own that's bottled. So if you've been following along, we have our wine here, and you should have yours, and you should have transferred this twice now to get rid of sediment on the bottom, and it should be completely done fermenting. And you know that by checking it with your specific gravity. We're going to do that here, but that's where you should be at. Additionally, you may want potassium sorbate. Potassium sorbate is a preservative that helps make sure the wine does not ferment after you get it in the bottle. If it does ferment after you get in the bottle, sometimes it will just creep up the cork or show like a little red that'll seep through the cork, or other times the bottle will explode. That has happened to us in the middle of the night. I come running out because I thought someone broke the window, and there was just red wine everywhere on the walls, and I was so confused because it looked like blood. So if you want to avoid that, something like potassium sorbate will help you. So that's where you should be at. If you don't have any of that stuff, go ahead and pause this video, get that stuff, and then come back to this. Another thing that we've chosen to do, which is not mandatory, is we've cold chilled this. We put this in the fridge for over 24 hours to help get any sediment to drop out and then let it come back to room temperature. Um, I would suggest not bottling cold wine and letting it be at room temperature. I have bottled cold wine without any serious negative effects, but I know it's supposed to be at the room temperature. I'm guessing the pressure differential in the bottle will change if you do it that way. But let's go ahead and get started. So, if anyone remembers, this is our blackberry wine, I believe, right? And the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and make sure that it's done fermenting. I've already done that, but I'm going to check it again because we are going to taste test it. This is the point in the process where you can make changes. You can back sweeten it. We can add a little sugar, or we could add wine tannins, which give it kind of more of that bitter taste. Ideally, you would add wine tannins earlier, but if you haven't, it's never too late. Part of the best part of making wine, in my opinion, is getting to modify and change it and getting to say it's your own.
And if you want to make the same recipe twice, 2 different days, document everything that you put into the wine.
Yes, it is very hard if you don't to replicate anything, and even with all the same instructions, sometimes it can be hard to replicate wine that even with you do the exact same thing, it sometimes doesn't turn out the same depending on how ripe the fruit is and where the fruit came from. So we're sitting at like 0.097, which is the same place we were sitting at last week and the same place we were sitting at the week before. So I can be pretty confident that this is done fermenting. And I'm going to go ahead and give my wife some, just a little bit to taste test. I'm going to have a little bit too, and then we're going to decide if we think this is going to be ready to bottle. What you taste here will not be what this tastes like over time. It's going to have a little bit of a funky scent. Usually, this actually smells pretty good.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's also going to just change as it slightly oxidizes in your wine bottle. And that aging process typically makes the harsh flavors or the harsh aromas dissipate. They're less. Not that to say they're not there, but it changes with time.
Not sour.
I would always suggest to have two tastes because the first one always tastes different. Right? It's always shocking.
Still sour. Don't you agree?
I agree. It has a bit of that
Oh,
almost raspberry
yeah,
flavor.
I like that. But just a little shocking.
Historically, for us, with things like this is really light. It's kind of like a rosé. Um, these are the things that sometimes we have chosen to purposely carbonate, and they become like prosecco, and they are great in that regard.
That is actually really good after.
Let's have a little more. I was actually thinking we might have to add a little sugar, but after my second taste, I'm not so sure. I think that.
It's just sour. But I like sour.
Me too.
Just
So if you're here taste testing, a 1 gallon bottle makes five bottles of standard wine. Depending on how much you taste test, how much you use during transfers, you might not have a whole gallon. If you're watching this and your bottle's like right here, you're like, I lost so much during the transfers. You can add like water and it dilutes it and makes it not as strong, but you do get more volume. It also makes your alcohol content lower. Or you can do what we often do and we'll just pour some like juice in there at that point and then give it a few more weeks to make sure it's finished and fermenting. Just because although the purity of the wine is important to us, the volume is also very important to us.
volume as in quantity.
Yeah, like I want more bottles, even if it's a lower alcohol content. It's definitely a little harsh though.
I think it's good. But I always like these. I always end up being the one that drinks all of these.
Yeah, I think we've brought about all this.
I think so.
All right, so I'm going to try and gently pour this in here. Because we cold crashed this, there's probably some sediment at the bottom, but I've actually transferred this 3 times now, so we're doing pretty good. Now we're gonna actually bottle. As you see here, we reuse old bottles. And would you admit? There's various types of corkers. If you're watching this, you probably have this corker. And if you don't have any type of corker, you cannot continue this video. So pause here, get a corker, and come back. But this is the cheapest entry-level corker. They are everywhere. You can find them for 20, 30 bucks. This is what we started with. I think this is probably what everyone started with. They work, and you can use them. They will only work for a size 8 cork. And the sizes of the corks, the diameter gets bigger and bigger and bigger with the bigger numbers. And the bigger the cork, so like a size 9, which we're going to use today, has a slightly longer shelf life than a size 8. We're going to use this. This is a Portuguese wine corker. There's 2 kind of versions of this readily available. There's a red one and then the purple one. The purple one is a little harder to find. What do you think that is? Maroon? Burgundy?
Brown. I have
Brown.
no idea. Maroon, probably. Burgundy. I don't know.
This one can do 1.75 or 1750 milliliter bottles, the large bottles of wine that you've probably seen. And that's why we have this one. The red one works just as good. It just doesn't quite have the height sometimes to do some bottles. But these are a little bit more on the expensive side. I think these are like $175. So if you're doing this for the first time, $20 one probably will work just great and allow you to not spend too much money before you know if it's something you want to keep doing. So we can just set this to the side. So now we are going to start transferring. Normally we transfer from like a countertop to something lower or from the table to the ground, but that wouldn't make for a very good video. And one other thing, are corks. Your corks will slide in much better if they've soaked in something wet. So I've had these soaking. If you don't have yours soaking yet, go ahead and do that. And one other thing before we transfer. A little water here. I'm going to take my potassium sorbate, which is going to stop this from fermenting. And I'm going to put it in here, half a teaspoon per gallon. And I'm going to mix it up, and I'm going to add it to our wine. I could add it directly to this, but I'm trying to minimize how much sediment I'm actually going to get off the bottom. And by mixing it thoroughly in advance, then it will separate into this without mixing up the bottom too bad. But I'm going to take your wine glass too.
Not gonna fill it again.
We'll see how much. Well, at the end, you're going to have a small amount at the bottom, and we usually do drink that, even though it can be a bit cloudy and not ideal. So I'm going to give Nicole a bottle here.
Okay.
I'm going to gently lift this up.
Am I supposed to stand up too?
Nope, you're good. please.
feel like I have to stand up.
I'm not even sure I'm in camera right now, to be honest. And we're gonna actually fill all 5. If this gets too time consuming, we'll fast forward for it so you don't start watching it. Nicole really likes to use all the same bottles of the same height, but I did not grab that today, so I apologize to her. We're gonna use one of these wands. This wand allows it so when you're filling, if this pushes down, it fills your bottle. When your bottle gets full, this closes and you don't spill as much. Most of the kits for any of the stuff we bought may have came with one of these little plastic ones. They do work. If that's what you have, go ahead and use it. If you don't have anything, go ahead and take your pop tube and just squeeze it off. You spill a little bit, but honestly, we're going to spill a little bit no matter what, and it's really not the end of the world either way. All right. So Nicole's going to hold this down so that it doesn't build up pressure when I pump this, right?
I'm going to hold it down?
Push it down, yeah, so the air in the tubing can go out.
What do you mean, can it go out? Oh, I've got one of those little middle things.
Yeah.
Oh, those are frustrating.
Okay. Oh, it's not done. Try just put a start on the side then if you have to.
Oh, like this?
Flat bottle. You need to. Ready?
Yeah.
There, now it's down. So it's going a little slow right now because we don't have much of a height difference. The higher the height difference you have, the little bit faster it'll go. As this comes up here, she's not going to wait for it to fill to like here where you would want it. She's going to let it fill up almost all the way to the top because the volume of the tube that's in there is going to go down. So when the wine is almost at the brim of your bottle, and you take this out, it's going to be at the right height for what you want to cork it at. All right, we are back. As you can see, we've now got 5 bottles of wine. We're going to go ahead and bottle just one of them so you guys don't have to watch this forever. But we're going to take our hydrated cork and we're going to pop it into our corking device. We're going to take our bottle. I'm going to push this down and get it lined up. Nicole, you want? Or I can do it.
I don't know if I can do that that high.
I think you probably could. We'll find out. So this squeezes the cork and then it pushes. It's weird doing it up this high. Sorry, I was trying not to shake the table too much. Again, usually something we do on the ground. We have our beautiful corks bottle. We like to put one of these on there. And they just heat shrink and they cost about, I don't know, a penny on Amazon. And then we will later go ahead and put a label on the outside. And there you have it. You have bottled wine. I would suggest aging this for a minimum of 2 months before you try any of them. Most people would say that you should wait longer than that. But if you're anything like us, we enjoy to drink the wine. But 2 months at least. Otherwise, you're not going to get rid of any of that footy smell or those harsh flavors. Really approaching a year is probably where you want to be if you have any patience. But, anything you want to contribute? Thank you guys for watching so much. I hope you enjoy your wine. If you have made wine and you're following along with us, go ahead and comment. Please like and subscribe. And if you think we did anything wrong, I'd love to hear that too. Or if you have any requests on wines or drinks you'd like to see us make, we'd be more than willing to. Have a good night.
Bye.